Awesome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of eCommerce Growth Show. I'm today with Nadav Berger. He's the VP of Marketing. He's actually a young veteran marketeer. We'll hear about that a bit later. So, Nadav, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you, Valentin, for having me. I'm super excited.
So let's tell to our audience some things regarding yourself, right? So
Hmm.
Nadav has experience in the creation and the application of worldwide go-to-market strategies, especially in the worlds of B2B e-commerce software. Nadav holds over 3 years of heading and coaching marketing and sales team, and has a vast experience in the worlds of inbound and outbound marketing, building strong business alliances with partners and customers, and building advanced funnels. And the topic for today is how to generate more revenue within your store with gift cards. So, Nadav, the first question for you, man, is how
Hmm.
you've landed in the digital space at the very beginning.
Well, actually, that's a really nice story. I was coming back from India. I was a student, and then we started. And then a friend came over, I think 2 months later, and he asked for. He had an idea of doing a new online store for ecological and sustainable replacements for leather products. So we started. We figured out how we can start selling this product. Where are we getting them? And when we started thinking about how we can sell this product, we obviously went to Shopify. It was 4 years ago, I think. After a year doing it, we got to understand a lot better about the business because we obviously started from scratch. And I had an opportunity with another friend of mine that suggested joining his e-com business from the business to business side. Started some sort of advanced chatbot service that didn't really exist at this time. We founded this thing together. We raised money and we started working on it. We had it right for a year and a half. We had some complexities. The product didn't function perfectly. And after a year and a half, we decided that maybe it's time for us to take another opportunity. But in the process, I did a lot of one of our main strategies was doing events. So I got to know all the e-commerce or large amount of the e-commerce industry here in Israel. So that's how I got to meet Yair, our CEO. And when I left there, I called him and said, "Listen, I think we can do really awesome things together." And started working here. Been here for 18, 19 months already at Price.ai, where we have been able to really get really nice advance and great growth. And that's how I got to today.
Excellent. So, Nadav, can you tell us regarding the current landscape of e-commerce? What is what is your opinion towards the current growth drivers? Do you think let's say the dynamic in this field has been decreased, or do you think this is going to rise even more?
Definitely. I think that it's gonna rise a lot more. I think we are seeing, I guess, through everything that's going on in the world, a massive pace that no one could expected about how this world is actually evolving. We're seeing tremendous growth from all across, I think all across our partners and all across our industry in terms of how the amount of merchants that are coming in, the solutions that they're looking in the online world, the conversion of physical businesses to online businesses. And I think this is something that's going to be it's going to only uh, explode further and gonna be even more fast than it is today. So I think definitely where the I think the growth that the e-commerce landscape is seeing today is just the start of where this really enormous market with enormous potential is.
Yeah. So regarding your the growth strategy that you and your company are proposing, how does it work? So what's the let's say trigger? Why should e-commerce companies care about this strategy?
Actually, so that's a great question. That's the thing, question that we answer very frequently on our day to day. management and operations of the company. So I think today, especially at this time being, where I think like up to 9 months ago, before COVID, everything was about growth. Companies, businesses, brands, everyone thought about how we can grow faster. And I think COVID brought some sort of new understanding of how you can not only grow, but also like save money for operations, optimize internal processes, achieve more with what you already have. And
Yeah.
I think that is eventually something that our tool provide in a 360 way. We provide a full set of tools to manage each brand currency. It comes in the form of gift card. It comes in the form of store credit. It can be also like your brand box or whatever you name it. And this tool gives you various amount of ways to communicate it with your customers. For example, selling gift cards. For example, sending store credit for rewarding customers, for rewarding good customers, to help incentivize and achieving more with their outstanding customers and increase retention. If we're talking about the operations part of things, so you can use store credit for refunding and save a lot of the costs that you'd have if you put it back to their bank account. And even more than that, you can inspire future action and really get this some of not such a good experience to become a much better experience in the
Yeah.
future and create future engagement with those customers. So I think our tool really adapts into the new world by really providing a better way to achieve more with what you already have.
So, in a nutshell, your set of solutions are aiming to re-engage customers and to nurture the relationships with the customers that already acquired, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's the core of the service. We do have some tools that are more even acquisition oriented, like referrals and gifting. But the core of the service is engaging with customers and building stronger relationships with them.
Yeah. So, in terms of the loyalty cards, uh, not cards, but the loyalty programs.
Mhm.
Have you seen there are various types of loyalty programs? Like you get points, you get tiers, you get credits. Which kind of programs do you see working, or are there any specific programs that are working for specific industries and and worse for other industries?
Yeah. So first of all, there's a lot of different loyalty programs. I think it has a lot to do with your unique marketing strategy, how you imagine your
Yeah.
customers, what exactly is the customer journey that you're doing. And it definitely differs between industries, different average order values, different repeat purchase rate. All those metrics obviously differs, and there are different things that are dedicated for different brands. And we are really trying to enable all those different possibilities to be enabled. But something that, just to give an example of a brand that we work with and we have really seen an enormous growth with, the name is Only Natural Pet. They sell pet food at uh, at Colorado. They have a lot of franchises there, and the program that they're running, which is I think a good example that can be applied to a lot of other brands as well, is they do something that's called a rebate program. The rebate program is practically takes the year, like splits the year into four quarters. For every quarter you make your purchases, at the end of each quarter everything is being wrapped up, and you get 5% from your spending to a future purchase, and for a limited time of 1 month, to really create this sense of urgency and really incentivize those customers to buy, but not only to buy, but to buy on a certain time. And for brands with relatively high frequency in purchases, brands that people are buying a lot from, like food, pet food, it can be beauty industry, those kind of brands, I think really cutting down the time between purchases and narrowing it is something super essential. And I think this kind of program is doing a lot of a lot of really great things for them. And what we see that really moves the needle in the rewards and loyalty world is the fact that today customers react much better to credit. Points has the Points not only have like more complicated user experience because you redeem it twice, it's also differs between brands. And the fact that you're sending credit, you're sending something that's equivalent across all brands. You get $5 or $5 on every site. So the fact that you're communicating with customers with something that they understand immediately and they see the value as they get it makes the redemption rates much higher. And based on what we see, we get to have over 20% of engagement rate with the loyalty program, which is almost 3 times higher than industry's average.
So what you're saying to me is that out of 100, let's say, customers which are getting this type of loyalty programs, there are 20 people which are redeeming these points.
So actually, specifically for them, just because it's so well executed, the percentage are much higher. It's around between 38 to 42. It differs between the different queues. But what we see across all our merchants is a redemption rate of a bit higher than 20% engagement rate across the board.
Okay, so 1 out of 5 persons are going to use this loyalty, whatever points, incentives that companies are sending to them. But let us know regarding the type of programs. You've told us about this. Get credit for a future purchase if you spend this much every quarter. Are there any programs that stand out from your perspective?
In terms of the credit world or in general?
In general, things that you've seen working and that worth sharing with us today.
So I think we've seen various amount of great loyalty programs. I think that today, one that I really like, for example, is Ivory Ella. What they have in particular, which is different from what a lot of brands are doing, is one. I think if you're a well-known brand, and one thing that they're doing great is that they have you pay for membership. So you get some commitment from your customers to be applied for a loyalty program. Not everyone can be applied for the loyalty program. Only customers that have like the will to really provide some sort of additional value for you at the first touch point. And I think, and another thing that I really like that they do is using the fact that those customers already are more committed, and the commitment that they can show as a brand is really deeper. So giving access to limited collections, going with higher level of promotions, double points weekends, all those things really helps them increase the frequency of the customers are purchasing, gifting, referring to their friends. So I think these 2 use cases is something that every brand can apply, and I think that has a lot of value for loyal customers.
So Nadav, I have a question regarding the revenue impact. So let's presume you are that brand with the pet supplies. You have around 40% redemption rate. So that means out of 100 people that are getting this incentive, 40 of them will use that. Have you done any kind of A/B testing, or the brand has done any kind of A/B testing to see how many of the customers would return without this kind of loyalty program? Or is this something that you've been able to disseminate, to discern from your campaigns?
That's a great question. I think that what we haven't done an A/B testing, but what we did try, because the way that the system works is that the credit is integrated to customer account. So when it's checking out, the credit is automatically being redeemed. So what we did is we deferred how many got from the promotions of the campaign and how many got organically to the site. This was our best way to understand the impact of how, like, understanding that this is now going on. You have an incentive, go and shop directly from there, versus someone that just walked to the store without this like incentive to go there. And we came to learn that across the campaigns, between 30 to 35% are getting from the invitation, and 60 to 65 are going to get organically and use the credits for the process.
Okay, got it. And in terms of the, you've said something that the purchase intervals will narrow down or at
Mhm.
least that's a purpose to let's say repeat the next order much more faster. Have you seen
Yeah,
an impact on these aspects as well?
definitely. I think that the VIP, like the VIP loyalty programs, and punch cards, those are two separate like type of programs in the loyalty world that takes into account either lifetime spent or and tiers or orders count. Those two really helps in communicating to customers the message that the more frequently that you buy, you have quicker value coming at you. So if for lifetime value you get 5% for each purchase, then every time that you buy, you get an incentive. And if you're getting to high level of spending, then you get 10% for every order, and you have what to look for and where to upgrade yourself as a customer versus something that looks after orders counted and you say, listen, I ordered 3 times. At the fourth time, I'm getting something for free. I'll get there faster if I understand that this is the value that I'll get from this purchase. So those two things are really helps in improving this particular metric.
Excellent. So, Nadav, regarding the let's say the scarcity of not being able to use these points, have you seen that points which are about to expire, or these kind of sequences that alerts the customers that if they don't use them, they'll lose them? Have
Mhm.
you seen this working, or is it better to keep those points for more than I don't know, a few months?
So I think that differs between the different brands. If your buyers are buying every 1 month, so I would definitely put like a 2 months expiration date on it or 1 month expiration date to make sure that I'm meeting those deadlines. But if my customer average spend is like they buy once a year, so I don't want them to not be able to use the credit and buy it like and do it like a 2 months because customers just don't buy blankets once every 2 months. It's something that they buy before the winter. So it's definitely adapted per the certain use case, but I think putting an expiration date is a must have in terms of rewarding because expiration date creates like a structure to it. It creates, listen, this is like I gave you this incentive, it applies only for a certain amount of time. And the benefit that it provides for you as a merchant is that you can communicate it. For example, you can run a flow that recognize, listen, this customer credit is expiring in 3 days. Now let's send him a message that he has this $20 only for 3 more days, and really convert him into an action. That when you're putting like an unlimited or infinite expiration date, it's just not there. Like you'll be able to say, okay, so I can use it next week, I can use it next year, and it doesn't really create any sense of urgency.
Next life, or
Yeah.
yeah. So, Nadav, regarding the let's say capacity to trigger this kind of uh, emails or alerts, have you
Mhm.
seen something that it's outstandingly better than other kind of sequences, or how often should you remind the customers not to be too intrusive, but not to let them forget about you?
I think it's so here it's definitely a game of diversity. Like
Hmm.
if you'll go with one message all the time, like if you'll send them every 2 months, listen, you have $10 in credit for 6 times, so it's not interesting. But if you can incorporate it in your email marketing strategy in general and say like you're doing a product update and you're sending like about 3 new products that you launch, and then you're adding, if you don't, listen, I don't know if you remember, but you have $10 that you can apply for either of those products, and you can try it now. Or if you're doing like a new launch to maybe a collection, or maybe to a new program, or an update to the loyalty program, you can really utilize or review queries. You can really adapt it into every part of you sending out communications to the customer. So I wouldn't do too many dedicated reminders. Maybe only when you feel like it's the proper time for them to make a repurchase. If it's 3 months or maybe 2 months later, but I would definitely incorporate it in general in my communications.
So, Nadav, regarding channels that you can use to address these customers? Is this only email, or it can work via SMS or remarketing ads, or it's up to you as a marketeer to select those channels and use other tools like Klaviyo or other tools?
So out of the box, we're doing our service is doing through email. We are integrated with Klaviyo for email and SMS. And I think email. I think emails for this particular for rewards, it's the best. It's the best in terms of conversion because it's something that getting it to your mobile phone might be too personal, and SMS messages must be very precise. So it's going to be only that. So it's something that you do once, but you can do a lot. So
Yeah,
incorporating in the email, it's the best. And I definitely agree that it's to the other part of the funnel, actually, to the conversion part and not the retention part. But we see that brands that are using the rewards in ads and just saying like, listen, we have a limit weekend of sale for every $50 that you spend, you get $10, and they're doing this as like a big campaign for a limited amount of time, and they're saying it on their Facebook ads and banners. I think that really helps in acquiring and converting those customers because you give them a much stronger reason to believe even before they went to the store.
yeah. So that also means that it's not about the incentives, but also the packing of the communication and the cadence of messages and the channels that you're using as a marketeer. Tell me if you can do A/B testing on different cohorts. Let's say you decide that you want to do tiers or points, and you want to see what's working better. Are you able to do that?
So there's through our tools, there's a way to create segmentation. It can be done also through Klaviyo. You can build lists and segments and give certain rewards for one crowd or other rewards for other crowd. We so that's something that can definitely be done, and it's well incorporated into tagging the way that customers are being tagged over the industry. But I think that loyalty programs in particular, they are addressing if you're doing it as something that you need to apply to or something that is lucrative, it's not applying for all customers. So you have more limited amount of customers that really to log into, and that's like definitely up to your strategy. If you want to target all customers, so you can definitely run an A/B test. But if it's something that you're doing only for 5% of the customers, so you want it to be super precise, and A/B testing is not necessarily the greatest solution for it.
Yeah. So can you also do, or have you seen this working better to give instead of points or credits, to give I don't know, free delivery vouchers or free returns or stuff like that? Is this working better than a voucher with credits or points on it?
So I think that was a lot of the assumptions that we came into the market with before we got in. Almost all the loyalty programs were very points oriented. None of them was really taking credit as a call to action. And those points could be redeemed for discounts, could be redeemed for coupons, could be redeemed for free shipping or free products. What
Yeah.
we are doing is, I think, in terms of today's customers, they want to be empowered. They want to have straightforward experience, and they want to have full flexibility. And I think credit really provides it because, first of all, it's a payment method. So if you earned a lot of credit, you can pay for products. You don't need to pay for shipping and taxes. You can combine them with discount codes or other promotions, so it's more lucrative than the other regular promotion or ongoing discounts that you might provide. And the third thing that I think that's the most important, because this is obviously a game of numbers, people are just reacting to it better. No wonder that Starbucks, Sephora, a lot of the biggest brands in the world have converted their loyalty programs to be credit oriented. Customers understand it. Customers just react to it better. The conversion, the redemption rates are, as I said, almost 3 times higher than points. Needless to say, over 7 times higher than regular discounts or regular promotions. So this tool has actually been proven to drive results, just because I think there's two main reasons. One, it's easy to understand and straightforward, and two, it's just more lucrative than discounting.
So mainly what you're stating here, Nadav, is that it's better for customers to see real money or to perceive this as real money than to see discounts or to see some points that could be converted into cash for their purchases. And do you think that's the bias that they are encountering? Because at the end of the day, for a brand, is the same thing if they give $10 or 100 points, which are worthing $10, or 10% discount out of $100 item, right? So for the brand is the same thing. What you're saying is that the framing of the credits are much more effective, like 3 times more effective, right?
Yes, definitely. That's like what I'm stating. Again, just because it feels clean for manipulation. It just listen, that's what you have. You can use it. And as I said, the option to earn it, like points a lot of the time is only like limiting you for certain promotions. So you can have 500 points, but you can only buy with them $10 coupon or 20% discount. But with credit, it's actually accumulative. So if you're doing a lot of positive actions that got you a lot of credit, this is accumulated, and eventually your final goal can actually get you free products and get you free order. So that's something that really empowers customers and give them more flexibility than building the flow for them. You have credit, you can do with it whatever you want.
Yeah. So that also means you can be creative regarding how customers can earn points. Can you give us some examples that you've seen working despite the buy from this to this amount and get X amount of credits?
Of course. So there we like to reward for any type of like engagement that will lead to that strengthen the connection, the commitment between the customer and the brand. For example, for us, account creation, creating a store account is something that's super impactful. We see that account owners are spending 63% more on average than regular customers. So converting visitors or customers into account owners can be something really impactful, and rewarding them with credit for it. It's something that we are really recommending on. Obviously, everything that shows commitment from the customer to the brand, such as leaving a review, I think that's a great use case for sending out credit. Again, you provide any value and providing value right back, and really building like a two ways relationship. We do see some brands doing more crazy stuff, like giving rewards for buying products on other sales channels through partners, if they like, or rewarding customers on marketplaces and rewarding them to convert them into their direct to consumer business. So there are some more advanced stuff there, but the regular things of creating an account, making an order, doing a review, having a birthday, those things seems to like the basic stuff is really the actions that drive most revenue for brands.
Excellent. So, Nadav, there are some voices that are saying that customers are, let's say, fed up with this kind of mechanics of the brands that get this by doing this and get that by doing the other one. Do you think there are this era is going to end, or is going to grow even further? Because the game is pretty simple. I'm a brand. I'm selling this, I don't know, whatever phone, and I do have a margin. It's clear that that's my margin, and it's clear that after a certain amount I'm going to lose money, so I can afford to to diminish the price only this much. Then the customers, or some customers, are becoming aware of the fact that you earn money anyways, so it's clear that if you give these points you would have
Yeah.
made more money on their behalf. So why bother? Like, why bother in the sense that you are a brand that is not, let's say, sincere and honest from the very beginning, because you could have given them a better price from the very beginning without having these loyalty credits or whatever. How do
So
you
that's
let's say argue with someone that gives you this perspective?
so I think I think that it's just not. I think the main I think the main thing that I think it's like shows a different perspective from what you said is the fact that today brands are all about building a community. You're not targeting all the customers in the world. You're targeting specific customers, and after you converted those specific customers, you want to understand how you provide great products that they would
Yeah,
love and eventually buy again. I think that, and on the other end, I think that we have like physical purchasing has gone from the world, and through physical purchasing, I can buy this phone from you, Valentin, and you'll be super accommodating, and I love you, and I say, listen, whenever I'll need to buy a phone, I'll go back to Valentin because he is super accommodating and he's super nice, and I love him, so I'll keep buying phones from him. And that's how people, and now you need to find ways to convert this personal relationship online. And in order to provide personal relationship without this, I know you. I don't, because I don't know you particularly. I know the brand. I know maybe I spoke with a support agent, but I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know the brand. I know only from reading about it or from looking into his products. And I think that you need, as a brand, to find those touch points that helps in creating emotional contact with your with your commodity or with whatever it is that you're selling. And I think and I think that this relationship of once you're doing an action, you're getting something in return besides the product, you get some additional value, really sits well on a customer's eye. I think there are definitely like 5% of the customers that say, oh, they're giving me these rewards, probably they're making a ton of money out of me. Now they take prices up and I'll I'll left empty handed. But I think most customers say, oh, that's super nice of them to think about me. And now I think that maybe I'll send it to my friend and tell him that this is really a cool brand to buy it.
yeah.
So I think that there is a lot of room for this thing, even in the cynical world that we're living in.
Excellent. So, Nadav, regarding the onboarding, like when do you send these credits? Do you send them before the first purchase? Do you send them afterwards as a or as a way to onboard those first-time customers? What do you recommend here?
So I think that because credit is relatively, or it is lucrative and it's worth a lot in the customer perception, we really recommending on rewarding it only for high value actions, actions that you think that provide value for your brand. As I said, I think creating an account provide value for all brands because based on the stats, people that have an account spend much more. And if you want to convert customers to account owners, that's a great way to do it. If you want to now you have acquired a customer the first time he is at your store and he is adding another product to the cart, he's reaching $70, and now you can see that he gets $10 for the next purchase. I think that's a high quality action that he'll feel really good if you can reward him for. I think when leaving a review, it's the same. But on the other end, I think that providing such value, such a big value like credit for customers that haven't made any commitment for your brand, for example, give you a like on Facebook, which is might be something that you really want, but for them it's it's just it doesn't have any necessary future impact. Those are things that for us are not essential in terms of rewarding for, and we really want to build the relationships through high impact actions that being done from both sides.
Yeah. Question. I have a shop and I'm selling phones and I'm also selling, I don't know, uh, fitness
Case.
trackers or whatever. Something way cheaper but with much more higher margin. Can I give credits only for specific categories from my shop?
Definitely. I think that's another great way to use our product and rewards in general to lead the customer in his experience. For example, just for us, something that we really like to do the holiday season and becoming really popular now is the option to do buy one, get one for gift cards. So if you're buying a gift card, then you bought a gift card for someone else, and now you also get like $20 for yourself. And I think that using rewards to incentivize products that you'd like to promote is one of the best ways to use rewards and to direct your customers to buy the product that you want them to buy.
Mm-hmm. Great. So in terms of the integration, I do know that Rise AI works on Shopify, but are you able as a customer to see how many credits do you have in your account, or how does it work?
So yeah, we are integrated into, as you said, Shopify very deeply. We provide a lot of different touch points in the merchant site. We have an account module where customers can check the credit at. We have a widget that updates and shows the updated amount of credit. We have a dedicated check balance page where customers can insert the credit code and see how much they have on it. And we even have an option to automatically, or one-click option to redeem your credit on the cart or checkout. So we have
Mm-hmm.
built like a lot of tools to verify that customers not only getting it credit, but aware of it and using it.
Yeah, excellent. So, Nadav, can you give us some, let's say, insights from your own activity as an individual? Let's say,
Mhm.
what works for you as a person to grow internally and externally? What kind of habits or things that you recommend us to do in order to become better persons?
That's an amazing question. I wasn't prepared for it, but for me, there's one thing that it's actually funny that you're mentioning, because actually this weekend I'm practicing yoga for like 3 years, and this week I'm starting like teacher's class, so I'm really excited toward it. I think that's a great thing to do in terms of like body mind connection and getting yourself relaxed through, I think, like, the very intensive world that we live in, especially at our super fast growing and instantly adapted industry. So that's one
Yeah.
thing that I'm really recommending on. And the other thing, more business wise, is I really recommend on investing sometimes in reading, finding mentors, finding people that have done what you're already doing in order to optimize the processes that you build and that you do. For me, it is Mark Berger, former CRO at HubSpot, that I really follow all of his content, and it really helps me in implementing things in our company here internally. So this is
Yeah.
like, I think, the two main things that I would recommend.
Excellent. So, Nadav, where can people reach out to you?
So they can reach out to me wherever, like there's LinkedIn. They can reach us in the company in general at info@rise.ai. It meets Nadav at rise.ai. And I think, yeah, that's the best way, I guess.
Excellent. So we got here Nadav from Rise AI. Thanks a lot, Nadav, for being today with us, and thanks all of you for watching. And we'll see each other next week. All the best from Bucharest.
Thank you, Valentin. All the best.